Hey mate, what are you doing?
Alright, bow tie installation. Okay, here we've got a little bow tie. Here you go.
Just because you couldn't see what you're...
What we're going to do is, I've got this bit of mango here, and I'm going to insert the bow tie across that split in there, and then later on I'll put it through with epoxy or something. So I just want to demonstrate how to insert that bow tie, or how I insert that bow tie. Right, so first of all, to get started, what I'm going to do is, these are already pre-made, so
You can buy them, yeah?
you can buy them.
Nice.
Where do we buy them?
I'm going to confirm that, but we'll put a link up on the site pretty soon.
Right, so I'm just going to identify here, I'm putting an A, and I'm putting an A here, because I want to know, I want the A to go back to the A here, so that I don't get them mixed up. So that's probably vitally important. The next thing that I'm going to do before I mark it out is I'm going to compress a few of the fibres across the bottom side of that bow tie there. So I'm going to use these cabinet makers hammers, and I just want to crush with the flat face of that hammer. Compress a few of those fibres across there because I'll get a neater fit. Alright, next thing. You still got a double-sided tape.
Yeah, man.
Double-sided tape, a little bit of glue. Hot melt glue seems to work pretty well. I'm just going to stick this down so that when I mark it out, it doesn't move.
Looks pretty good, right?
Looks great. Alright, there we are. So that way that doesn't shift. I'm going to use the flat side of this spear point marking knife and skinny cut. The advantage of using a knife is that you get a much more accurate
You're going
marking out.
flat side against
Flat side against
and that way you get
the
a
butterfly.
really close cut.
So I'm trying not to angle that in. And it doesn't need to be a super deep cut. Just want to get a line established across there, so on all 6 sides.
Question for you.
Shoot.
What's the advantage of these bow ties versus bow ties that you make on a bandsaw?
I guess because they're cut on the table saw, they're a little bit straighter. Like on a bandsaw, there's no reason why you can't do it on a bandsaw, but they're just more consistent. So we just set them up in runs.
Oh, and I guess if it's a straighter line, then when you use your wide chisel, which is straight,
Good point.
bang on, so you don't have any gaps, don't have any little waves.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the main points.
It's a good point, man. Good thinking. Alright, so I've marked that out. Now I'm just going to drop a sharp pencil into that knife line so that I can see it.
Which sharpener do you use for that? You like that one?
It's pretty good.
I keep my sharpener on me.
Good work. Alright, router setup.
So what kind of bit do you have in there? I'm just gonna...
I'm just using an upcut spiral here because it'll cut from its end, okay, and it'll extract the shavings out of the job. So upcut spiral.
And that's the...
That's a 1/4 inch.
Yeah, 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
So if you didn't have this router but you had a little trimmer,
Yeah.
you could use the little trimmer.
Yeah, you could.
The only issue
It'd
is
be nice to have a plunge function on your trimmer. You can roll it in. You can sort of tilt it
pretty
in.
dangerous doing that.
Yeah, like so long as you got a good grip on your trimmer, it should be fine, and you're not going super deep. Although, if I use the trimmer, I reckon I'd use a drill first. I would drill out with a brad point bit.
So if I don't have a Festool at all, I don't have a trimmer or a router,
Yep.
could I just use a drill?
Yeah. you can
Okay.
use a drill. I'd use a brad point drill bit, and I'd set up a depth stop on the drill bit so that you get consistent depth on your cuts.
Would you just do that with a bit of tape, or can you get an actual stop for that?
Yeah, either or. Tape works well, but stop works better. So,
Nice.
So just a little steel rings that insert around your drill bits.
P.S. We also sell those.
Of course we do. All right, the way that I set this up, I drop my plunge router onto the surface, lock it off, like that, so that's 0. And then the thickness of this guy, which I think is 12 mil,
Calipers?
doesn't really matter. Drop that, see that depth stop there? Drop that on top, and then lock that off. That means that it's only gonna plunge, if I look at that plunge off there, it's gonna plunge the depth of that.
It's pretty hard to see, but yeah,
Okay.
I get
Yeah,
it.
in principle,
It's a
works.
great hack.
It is. It's good. All right, so now router.
So you're just locking it down with the hold fast.
Sit. So we've plunged out the majority of that material there now. And now I want to find the chisel. Ideally I want to run a chisel at least as long as the longest length. So I'm dropping that into, now I'll just be shy of the corner a little bit, but I'll drop it into that knife line that I created earlier and just hit that home. Do that on both sides. So this is just straight up and down, 90 degrees. And then work into the corners. If you try and hit the corners directly, like first up, what tends to happen is it twists the chisel a little bit because there's resistance on the corner.
Yep, notice that.
All right, now I've got another chisel that's as wide as I can. I probably could have grabbed the next size up, but it doesn't matter. Click it into that knife line.
Mate, that's a mirror finish on that chisel.
Is it?
Yeah.
And then just pare out that corner. Smaller chisel again, just bevel side down to clean out the bottom of that. Alright, one side done.
Do you feel like you're on a cooking show? Yeah, it's in my tool bag.
just want to be careful here that when you get the shavings out of the bottom of that butterfly groove, that you don't damage these top corners. Alright, that looks pretty good. So just do a little test fit here. That looks neat. That looks good. Alright, a little bit of glue. I'm ready to roll.
Now, does it matter what kind of glue you use on this?
Probably not. Because that crack is going to get filled with epoxy, because this is going to be a serving board, so I don't want stuff to get pulled in there. I don't think it really matters what we use for this. I'm using Type 1 original here. Just brushing a coat on that. And look, because it's going to get epoxy, doesn't need a lot of glue in there anyway. Alright, so A lines up with A.